Hello. Just catching up on a little light reading here. Alright, so what do we got? We got the judicial branch vocabulary, which is Unit 4, set number 3. The judicial branch is the longest segment of this unit. We'll probably spend an extra week or so on the judicial branch than we did on executive and legislative. Don't forget the directions here, which are the same. You know, on the due date, you're going to have a quiz. And on the due date, you should have the vocab right 2 columns completed. Your definition, the colored picture, visual as well. I'll collect that for a homework check. Alright, here we go. So 16 words. We're back to another long set here. Alright, first one is acquittal. And an acquittal, or to be acquitted of a crime, is to be found not guilty. We'll learn about this when we get to the arrest sequence, that you can either be convicted or acquitted of a crime. Alright, next word is to appeal. So if you lose a case, you have the right for a higher court to review the decision that the lower court made. And remember also, if the state doesn't like what happened or the federal government doesn't like the result, they can appeal it as well. Alright, third word is arraignment. Arraignment is the third step in the arrest sequence. It's where your lawyer is present, your lawyer is with you, and a trial date is set, and that's where you'll enter your plea. We'll talk about plea later, but you can either say that you plead guilty or you plead not guilty. If you plead guilty, you don't get a trial. If you plead not guilty, you get a trial. Okay. The fourth one, second step in the arrest sequence, is jail or bail. So bail is money that you pay to be released from prison between the time that you're arrested and the time that your trial will start. And it's like a promise that you'll return to court. If you don't return, you don't get your bail back, and like a dog the bounty hunter will come after you, trying to get the court's money back. Okay? So make sure you don't jump bail. In fact, don't put yourself in a position where you get arrested. Just don't do it. Alright, next page. We got compensation. Compensation is when you are getting sued. It's money that you must pay if you lose the case. It's money that you must pay for loss or damage. Trying to seek compensation, trying to put a fiscal number to a crime. Very hard to do, but sometimes you can sue someone and get damages. That's compensation. Alright, we got conviction. That's the opposite of acquittal. So if you are convicted of a crime, you are found guilty, and you will go to sentencing, where the judge will sentence you for the crime. You have the right to appeal that conviction. Alright, the defendant is the person being either accused of a crime, if it's a criminal case, or the person being sued in a civil case. They are the person that are defending themselves against the law. Alright, and the last word on this page is going to be due process. We talked about this in Unit 1, but the 5th and 14th Amendments, due process is protection against unfair treatment by the government. You have certain due process rights that must be followed. You have a right to a speedy trial, you have a right to an attorney, you have a right to, against double jeopardy, I should say, you have a right to not take the stand against yourself, etc. Okay, due process. Alright, next page, we have a felony. A felony is a more serious crime. So you have a felony, you have a misdemeanor, which we'll talk about later. Felony is a more serious crime. You know, we're talking about drug trafficking, we're talking about murder, we're talking about manslaughter, we're talking about robbery, armed robbery, or assault and battery. These are felonies, serious crimes. It can also be white-collar crimes like fraud or tax evasion or counterfeiting. Okay. Alright, next is interpret. Interpret is the main job of the judicial branch, which is to interpret the laws. The judicial branch looks at the Constitution, looks at the laws, determines whether laws have been broken or the Constitution has been violated. That's interpreting. Another word for this might be review. Review the laws. Alright, jurisdiction. You usually think about this with police, but we also have this with court. So it's authority. Authority to hear a case. Certain courts have certain types of jurisdiction. We'll talk about original. We'll talk about appellate. Some courts have both. Okay, original means they can hear it for the first time. Appellate means they can hear it for the second time if it's been appealed. Alright, a misdemeanor. Is the last one on the third page here. A minor crime, misbehavior, usually less than a year in jail, sometimes not even jail time. Sometimes it's pay a fine, do community service. It's, you know, little things like vandalism or trespassing or, you know, certain types of assaults or certain types of, you know, just minor petty crimes. Usually traffic violations are going to fall in this category. Okay, misdemeanor. All right, next we are at plaintiff. Okay, so on the last page here, a plaintiff is the person that is filing a lawsuit against another person. So if you get hurt, if you get injured by someone else, if something happens at work and it's, you know, you want to hold the employer responsible, you would sue them. You are filing a lawsuit, you are the plaintiff. All right, a plea. You have it's your answer if you're the defendant. The judge asks you, you know, how do you plead? You say guilty or not guilty of the crime. If you want to have a trial and take your chance, then you are going to plead not guilty. If you want to admit you did it and hopefully they go a little more lenient on you, then you would say I plead guilty, and hopefully sentencing, they give you less time. Maybe you're cooperating with the authorities to help other, you know, turn in other people in the crime. They might go more lenient on you. Okay, most people say not guilty because they want to take their chance in court. All right, probable cause. In order to arrest someone, it's part of the arrest sequence. The police need probable cause, reason that leads to you. Fingerprint, witnesses saw you somewhere, you got caught on videotape, you know, there's a piece of your clothing's at the scene, something of that nature would be probable cause to lead to an arrest. All right, last one is verdict. And the verdict is the decision that the jury or judge makes at the end of the trial. Remember, the circuit court and the district court have a jury. The rest are just a judge or justice only. And this can be guilty or not guilty. You can either get convicted or acquitted. This is the answer at the end of the trial. Okay? All right, so your next step by the due date is to make sure you get this vocab done. Make sure you review this. Make sure you use Quizlet as a tool to review your vocab, because the vocab in this section of the unit is particularly important to succeed on the quiz and the unit test, which is coming up very soon. All right, thank you.